Hey, Joe, on the pace that your quarterbacks lead the offense, Ty's been quicker than Cole through 2 weeks. So I wonder if you can assess where they are, and then how much did Cole's, his number was affected the other day by you guys having the lead, trying to melt some clock?
Yeah, I think a lot of that was what you just said. I think, early in the game we were establishing tempo. It wasn't by design or which quarterback was in there. I just think early in the game, obviously, we were playing with a lot of tempo. I think we snapped the ball 49 times in the first half and was doing a good job. Ty was doing a good job of pushing the tempo. And then in the second half, we felt like, using some of our speed motion stuff, our fly sweep stuff was good. And it's hard to tempo when you're doing that. So I think that's probably if there's, if one guy's playing faster than the other, that's probably more what it is.
Yeah, Chad said he thought Gatlin played pretty well, did every snap. What did you think of his game? And I think you've played 4 true freshmen or redshirt freshman linemen. Does that age a young guy like yourself? And just how big would it be if and when you get Colton Jackson
back?
No,
it's exciting. It's really, really exciting to see those young guys in there and playing at the level that Noah did. Going into the game, I was a little concerned with that. Being his first time to start a game at this level, and he handled it extremely well. He did a great job for us. Had a couple missed assignments here and there. The one that comes to mind is just a critical third down, but he did a really, really good job for a true freshman, and it excites me to know that we got a lot of young guys playing at a high level. It's only going to make us better as we move forward, and then when we can get the Coltons back and Shane back, it's going to make us we have a lot more depth and guys that can rotate in there and give us some and keep us fresh.
Hey, Joe, kind of a multi-part question here. You wanted to focus on the run game, and you wanted to focus on first down. Both of those markedly improved. What happened? Well, can you talk about why those were better? And then third downs seemed to bite you a little bit in this game. Yeah. What happened?
Yeah, I think we spent a lot of time on our run game last week, and we were able to do some things obviously that we didn't do the week prior, and I think we definitely got a lot better. First down efficiency was much better, kept us ahead of the chains, and then if we kept the ball on the ground on second down, just having to be able to get the third and mediums is where we definitely got to improve. And I don't know if it was we spent a little bit too much time on the run game last week, not enough time on the third and medium or what, but we definitely got to improve. 5 of 15 is not good enough at any level, and that's something that we definitely got to address. Our passing game the week before was really good, and for whatever reason, I don't know if we just kind of lulled ourselves to sleep at times, but we've got to be able to do a better job. And I actually talked to our receivers and our quarterbacks yesterday. We got to be the best group in the country on third and medium, and if we can do that, we can stay ahead of the chains on first down like we did, and convert those third and mediums and stay on the field. You're going to see a much better football team.
How will the first team reps situation break down with the quarterbacks this week?
Yeah, we'll keep doing what we're doing. I think it's kind of been the same since we've got here. Every week, every practice has been a different. One guy would have a good practice with the next guy the next day, and it just continues that. And we hope to eventually get to where we can settle on one guy and just run with it. But I thought Ty, we went into last week and kind of wanted to see what they'd do in practice, kind of challenged them both, and Ty by far practiced the best. I shared that with Cole last night. I said, dude, you got to practice better. If it's going to be you, we're not going to run a guy out there in the game that didn't show that he was capable in practice. And I thought last week at practice, I didn't think Cole had one of his better weeks, and Ty did. Ty really took a step up after getting some confidence in that Eastern Illinois game, and he had a really good week of practice. So that's kind of how we'll approach it this week, and see which one of those guys has the best week of practice and which guy we feel like gives us the best chance to win.
I would assume you are pretty familiar with North Texas personnel. I wonder if you can assess them. And then also, as you watch the tape against SMU, knowing what you do about those SMU players' strengths and weaknesses, how much are you able to glean out of how North Texas was able to counter some of that?
Yeah, a lot. Knowing those guys and knowing what they did. I know it's a similar offense, but in that regard, but it's a lot. What we've done over the years is a little bit different from what they're doing now, and so yeah, we are familiar with those guys. They have replaced some guys from last year's team with some really good players. They've got a couple transfers, and they're playing really well. They're pressuring the quarterback and. They're not sitting still on you. They're moving around a lot, flying around on the ball. They got a lot of confidence, obviously, and so this is going to be another good test for us. Thankfully we've got them at home in front of our home crowd, and we'll be prepared for them. We've been working all morning on them and trying to get a good base game plan going this morning, and we'll continue that all day today and all night tonight.
You tried out 4 different running backs. How tough is it to decide how to split up those reps and which running backs run which plays and stuff like that?
Well, you always want to find the guy that's hot, and we felt like Devois obviously had the hot hand, and we rode with him. With being, we didn't try to make a big deal about it last week, but being in that altitude, we felt like we had to rotate those guys a little bit, and each one of them, they bring something different to the table, and I think all 4 of them did a really good job when they were in there. But I like that. I like to be able to keep, rotate it back and keep those guys healthy and throughout the whole season, but also fresh in the game. And then you kind of in the second half, you kind of find who's got the hot hand and ride with them.
Coach Jared, I don't think he's had a catch yet. I know he was targeted one time. I don't know if he was targeted any other time, but I think most of us thought that he would probably be your leading receiver by now.
Yeah, we targeted him down the field. I think it was the fourth or fifth play of the game. I didn't know if Jared, if he was really looking for that ball. Ty did make a good read. I thought in the game Ty made a bad read, but he actually did make a good read. Would like to see Ty underthrow that thing a little bit because Jared didn't really, separate himself running by him down the field. But he did. He made a good read. Jared was the guy there, and we also tried to get him the ball down in the red area. We had him matched up on the Mike linebacker. Both safeties were out of there. Mike linebacker and him in the middle of the field, and Ty was a little late on the throw, and I thought Jared could have got done a little bit better job on his route, but we had what we wanted there. We had game planned it up. Both safeties out. It's our one of our better receivers on there, Mike linebacker, and that's something that we've got to execute that play when we get in that situation. But we're trying to get the ball around to our guys and all that, but we're also just trying to win games too. And we were riding, obviously, the run game. We ran for 300 yards or close to it, and was doing a good job in the run game. So we felt like we had to keep the ball on the ground for the most of the day. And I felt like we played pretty well for about 3 and two-thirds quarters. We played really good enough to win. And when they got the momentum, it was just we had to make a play on a third down to really get the momentum back, and we just really couldn't do it, which was really disappointing. But I thought we played well enough to win until the very end, and just couldn't get that momentum back and couldn't make a play at the end to really seal it. It was disappointing. We call a play action pass up 27-9. Call a play action pass and go up top to Jordan Jones, and it was bang bang. It was close. Could have been gone either way. I think the call on the field would have stood if it had been called a touchdown, but it was just a tough play. Had Jeremy Patton wide open as well on that deal, and that would have, I think that would have sealed it. Been up 34-9 there, but because we couldn't capitalize on that, and then get a false start on Noah, put us out of field goal range and made it really tough on our kicker, and that was kind of disappointing there that we didn't just go ahead and seal the deal. I thought our guys, whenever TJ put us up 27-9, I thought our guys kind of eased up a little bit. And that's part of our culture that we're trying to build here. Is we got to finish. We've got to learn how to finish, and that's something we've been preaching since we've got here. That's something even Coach Morris in practice. We actually practice coming out of halftime and finishing the game, and we put a big emphasis on that. And that's something that we've got to get better at, and that's part of our culture that we've got to keep establishing, and our guys got to keep working to learn how to finish.
When you came in, you knew you were going to have to overhaul the offense. There would be a lot of growing pains in that. How have you kind of handled this yourself, in this situation, and how do you kind of move things forward from where you're at right now?
Well, I just think that, we've done a pretty good job right now of trying to find where our weaknesses are and address those, and try to, cover up a few things here or there, with what we got. I thought last week we did a nice job as a whole staff of figuring out our run game, and I thought we did a nice job of finding a couple wrinkles in there that would help us. Obviously, we did a lot better blocking them up front. And creating some holes for our backs at times, but also our running backs did a better job of making guys miss. There was a couple times where there was an unblocked defender in the hole. We knew that. I mean, we kind of called the RPOs off and just said, hey, we're running the ball at will on these guys, and just let's not throw the ball. Let's just hand it off and see if their unblocked guy can make the play. And a lot of the time he didn't, and that was a tribute to our running backs making that guy miss. So. I think that we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to recruit at a high level, the way we're doing, and stay the course. We're not going to flinch. Coach Morris has said it already to us, and we're not flinching. We're not backing down. We're staying who we are. We're not going to change what we do, and we're just going to keep pounding the stone.
If you had to play a third quarterback right now, would it be Dalton Hyatt? And then the freshman quarterbacks, Nolan and Jones, have they separated themselves? Can you assess where they are?
Yeah, the past couple of weeks we've really tried to get Ty and Cole ready because they were the guys we were going to go in the game with. From a freshman standpoint, those guys haven't got as many reps here recently. Because of that, we're trying to get those other guys ready to go for games and win us games. From a third quarterback standpoint, I think, you would have to look at Connor. If we got him in there at practice and he started doing some good things, but, we're going to continue to work in my group. I'm extremely proud of my guys all staying together. You could very easily have some arguing, bickering in my room with playing two guys, and that's not the case. When Ty ran out there for pregame warm-ups, I heard Cole had his back. Hey, let's go forward. You got it, baby. And that's what makes this game great. Is you got guys competing for the same job, but they're also got each other's back. And so I've been really proud of my room. I still am. And we gotta get better. My room's got to get better. And we got to, like I said, we got to make sure we convert on third and mediums and stay on the field and score in the red zone. That's the main two ingredients that we're missing right now that we've got to get better at. And whoever gives us the best opportunity to do that, obviously that's who we're going to go with. Whether it's Ty or Cole or whether it's a freshman, we're going to have to find out pretty quick and because obviously we got conference play starting next week. So. Look forward to this week, though, man. This is going to be a good test for us. Like I said, they bring a lot of pressures. We're going to be ready for it and do a good job from a quarterback standpoint, also, offensive line and running back standpoint, picking up all those pressures.
Coach Morris indicated earlier that his last year at Clemson, you were into conference play before you really found the guy. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking back to something Cole said after the game. He said, we've done all this since last spring practicing, but he said, we've only had 2 games, and we're not in a rhythm with this yet. Is that part of the issue here, is that before you find a guy, they need more games?
I think so. I think, like Cole was saying, I think that they're still learning us, and we're still learning them. It's part of it. Obviously we've practiced however many times we've practiced, but, you don't really find out what you got until you get in the game and live bullets are flying. So, that was kind of our last year at Clemson. That was kind of the similar deal with Cole Stout and Deshaun Watson, and Cole was doing a nice job, and Deshaun was getting some reps and doing some good things as well, and it was just kind of a process to bring both those guys along, and eventually Deshaun took over, and then got hurt, and then Cole had to be ready to come back in. So it's very similar to that, I feel. Like I said, our guys, they're working hard, and like I said, we just got to see them be more consistent in practice, and we want to leave that guy in. Whoever that guy is, leave him in. I didn't think Ty played great last week. I didn't think he played terrible. I thought he threw some good balls. Obviously, I know he wants the third play of the game back. We had Petway open, and I know he wants that one back. I know he does because he's a competitor. He likes to win, and he was excited for that opportunity. And then we had on the second interception, we had an MA up front. He got hit. And actually, the guy that intercepted it, if you look at the pressure they brought, the guy that intercepted it, he was wrong. He MA'd. He missed his assignment and happened to be in the middle of the field. And so it's just one of those things. I didn't think Ty played terrible, but I don't think he played, excellent either. I thought he definitely got a lot better. So we tried Cole in the second half and saw if he couldn't give us a spark. And he hit a deep ball to Petway and was doing some things, moving the chains with his feet. So that's where we're at right now. And like I said, we'll look at this week of practice, and hopefully one of those guys emerges again, and we can stick with them.
I know you said Ty had a really good week of practice. Do you worry about his confidence taking a hit after a game like Colorado State? And when Petway slipped, did he just lose his footing, or was that maybe because the pass was a little behind him? Or what did you see on that play?
Yeah, I think the pass was a little behind him. Ty admitted to me he felt like he was a little bit late on it. I think the safety kind of worried him just a little bit on that play. But yeah, the ball was definitely behind him. Petway was trying to slow down and catch it in that window. Ty threw it in the right spot where we talk about it all the time, throw it right just outside that hash. And he did. He was just a little late on it, like I said. So I don't think Ty's not going to lose any confidence. He's a confident guy. He's been playing. Like I said, didn't play terrible the other night, so I think he did some really good things that he can build on. We got to help him out on a couple throws that I thought some of our receivers could have made a play on. And so he's not going to lose any confidence. He's going to come right back. He's a winner. He's a sharp kid, and he wants to see nothing but success for the University of Arkansas, and that's what I expect him to do come to Mars at practice.
Joe, the 3rd and 7 that Petway caught and it was inches short, is that the kind of thing that in the future, when you guys are more established, that it's going to be a 7-yard route instead of 6.5? And then the third downs that followed that, the passing third downs, was there anybody open? What was going on in those plays?
Well, on the play to Petway, that actually is a 10-yard route, and he cut it a little short on us. But to me, I can't really say a whole lot about the call. I did think, though, that the ball was caught beyond the chains. I know they reviewed it. I mean, we looked at it on film, and it definitely looked like we caught the ball beyond the chains. I know his momentum kind of carried him forward, but the ball, to me, it passed the chains. But that's what they called, and we were short, and we had to live with it. And then later in the game, with the ball in our hand to go win the game, we called a play that we've been working since we've got here. Cover 2 in the boundary should take our eyes immediately to the field, and we didn't. And we did have Jonathan Nance wide open on the hash there that I wish Cole would have got over there to him, and he didn't. I think he got a little fooled by the coverage for whatever reason. And we had Nance right there open about 8 yards on a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 play. He was open for an 8-yard gain, and we just couldn't find him. So, like I said, we've got to spend more time on that this week, third medium type plays, and make sure we shore up those routes and shore up those reads and throws, and be able to stay on the field on 3rd and medium. Thanks, Chris. Thank you, guys.